Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As always, I have to give my disclaimer. I am not a professional nail tech. I am just a girl DIYing my nails at home. Alright y'all, this is where we're starting off today. This design is about 2 to 3 weeks old, so it's time for it to come off. I'm going to start off by filing off the design. I usually start off by pushing back the cuticles, but for some reason I forgot, so I just started with filing it off. Doesn't really matter as long as the job gets done. So now I am pushing back my cuticles so that I can clean my cuticle area. I'm going to be using a cuticle bit just to get under there, take out any dead skin, any cuticles that I've outgrown since I last did my nails. Now, this next step is optional, and if you're going to do it, just be really careful. I'm removing any dead skin around that cuticle area. Just make sure you're only removing the dead skin so you know that it's dead when it's dry and crusty. And it's usually, for me, it's always white. So just slowly remove them if you're going to do this. Now I'm going in with a lint-free wipe with rubbing alcohol to remove the dust. You can also use paper towels if you don't have the lint-free wipe. Next step is to apply a bond. This is the one that I have. It's from the Kiara Sky Jelly Tips collection. I'm only going to focus it on my natural nails. If it gets on your artificial nail, it's okay, but just focus it on your natural nails. And then after that, you're going to apply a primer. Again, focus it on your natural nails. and then you are going to apply your base coat. I am using the one that I have. You can use whichever one that you have. Just focus it on your natural nails and then put it under the UV light for at least 30 seconds. Okay, now on to my favorite part, which is actually building your nails. This is the one that I'm using. It's the same color that I already have on my nails, so I'm just going to keep going with that. Since this is a fill, I'm only going to apply a small bead, and this bead is going to start off from my cuticle area. You want to refrain from the builder gel touching your skin, but if it does touch your skin, before you cure it, make sure you use either your finger or some kind of brush to remove that builder gel from your skin and create a tiny little gap between your skin and your natural nails. Okay, once you are done building your nails, you want to take a lint-free wipe with rubbing alcohol to remove that sticky layer left over. If you don't do this, that sticky stuff is going to go into your file, your e-file or your regular file. So make sure you remove that sticky layer before you file. All right, so for those of you who have watched my videos before, you know that I like to start with a e-file to clean up the cuticle areas, remove any excess product, and then I'm going to go in with my handheld file to fix the shape and just like clean up anything that needs to be cleaned up. Be careful when you're using an e-file because it's very easy to remove a lot of product when you're using an e-file. So I like to have mine on the lowest setting, and then it goes pretty slow. The video itself is sped up, but I go pretty slow when I'm cleaning up the cuticle area and stuff like that. What happens is if you remove too much product, you're going to have to go back in and add more product. And trust me, you don't want to do this process over and over and over again. So take your time when you're filing. Filing is plays a big role in the final results. So take your time, file slowly. If you feel like you can't control with the e-file, just use a handheld file. It'll get the job done too. It's just that the e-file is quicker. So I noticed I filed off a little bit of my skin while I was using the e-file. So I'm just taking my cuticle nippers and removing that dead skin. Now I'm moving on to hand filing. So with hand filing, I'm focusing more on the shape and just kind of sharpening up and tightening up anything that needs to be tightened up. Have a game plan when you're shaping. I like to go back and forth. So when I initially started doing my nails, I used to do a lot on one side, and then by the time I got to the other side, it didn't match. So what I like to do now is if you file twice on one side, file twice on the other side and just go back and forth until you get the shape that you want. This is the easiest way for me to get the shape that I want. Like, I'm not a shaping expert, but like my nails look pretty good for someone who just self-taught. So just go back and forth, go side to side, from the left to the right, from the left to the right until it matches. After filing, you want to move on to buffing. Grab a buffing block and just smooth out your nails. This is going to give you a smooth surface for your nail art or your top coat. then you grab that lint-free wipe with rubbing alcohol to remove the dust. And this is the final result. This is what the nails look like. So now you have a clean surface for nail art, or you can just apply top coat. If you're happy with this color, just apply top coat and call it a day. Let me know what y'all think.